Hello, welcome back, students. So now we'll be talking about different factors which are existing in our society, in our world, which is creating this potential threats or hazardous environment. So you can see it as a hazard scape of your current area, and then you can easily understand what I'm talking about. So the first thing which comes to mind is that our world has different physical characteristics all over. So these variance in these physical characteristics, change in these physical characteristics can cause potential harm. What kind of rock is in an area? What kind of, where are the location of the plate tectonics in the world? So you've seen a lot of variance all over the world. Somewhere now this is basically the geological maps depicting the activities all along the tectonic plates. So here the red areas, or you can say the dark areas, represent certain areas which are very much highly hazardous. High level of seismic activity can happen here. So that these are tectonic faults. Then your elevation. How high is your ground from the mean sea level? So the mountainous areas in the Himalayas, for example, that is a potential hazardous environment. The people living there are exposed to the high elevation or related disasters. So now just imagine, overlay all these different maps or superimpose all these maps, overlay them together, and then you can see that in one place there are so many different physical characteristics which can intensify different types of hazards. So we were talking about, like if we talk about tectonic plates, and then we talked about the terrain. So a place where there is a high hazard, like earthquake, or you can say seismic activity, therein, if we overlay the map of terrains, we can identify potential spaces where landslide can happen. So different characteristics, terrain as well as seismic activity map. So just see how much variance is there in our world regarding different physical characteristics. So this was terrain. Let's talk about permafrost, the ice uh, frozen on the land. Okay, this is global permafrost in which all of the uh, north of this world is covered in ice. That is also a potential hazardous source. Then is your land cover, green area, non-green area, vegetation area, vegetative area. So that can certainly intensify or reduce your disasters or natural events. Then is your soil, even how your soil, what is the nature of the soil? Uh, like engineers, they would agree that earthquake, seismic activity can be enhanced or reduced. How will the waves, like P waves and S waves, they will propagate, and different soil characteristics would enhance or mitigate the hazard level of earthquake. The soil is also a very vital form, but look how much variance of soil is in the world. Then is your climate zone. This hydrometeorological, your climate. Different type of climate zones can intensify or reduce your uh, hazard events. Similarly, your river systems. So somewhere there are rivers. Those, if now just imagine, overlay all these 10, 15 maps shown you. So every area will have different type of hazards, one way or another. So rivers, people living along the rivers, okay, that is also give you good fertile land, but it will also make people at risk of flooding. So rivers are potential source of hazard. Then your different land use systems. How are you using particular land in the world? So these land covers or land use systems would ultimately intensify or reduce your hazard level. And lastly, population density. So how much population is living in those hazardous area? We are again potential damage or potential harm to the society, it will be enhanced where a lot of population density is living. So this is basically a measure of exposure in which hazard and exposure are often interlinked together, that an area where a potential hazard can happen and how much population is living in those areas. So that is population density. Let's overlay these maps and then we can determine how much is our hazardous is our environment, and depending upon your locality what is the hazard scape of your locality, depending upon these different type of natural features. And ultimately that links to that what is happening in the world. If you look at the statistics, there are around 516 active volcanoes, and there are around eruption of volcanic eruption every 15 days. There is volcanic eruption happening in the world on average. Around 2,000 tremors are felt daily, out of which two are significant with high uh, Richter scale, and some can around 15 to 20 times, which can cause damages annually. And then there are thunderstorms. So at a time, at any moment, there are around 1,800 thunderstorms happening in the world. Every second, 100 lightnings strikes the ground. So lightning is also there. In every summer, every late summer, 5 hurricanes will develop and they will hit the South America or North America every summer, every late summer. 4 tornadoes per day is happening. 4 tornadoes are coming predominantly in US or North America, but 4 tornadoes are happening. And annually 11 snowstorms will happen in America. So these are some statistics that explains that our environment is hazardous depending upon different natural features. We have not gone into the vulnerabilities of the people even right now. We have just talked about due to the natural environment, naturally which is existing in the world, natural features, physical features, they are they are basically telling you about that certain hazards can happen in your society. So thank you.